Welcome to a brand new season of Battle Axe. This is season number 11, coming to you from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford. We've got a lot of returning faces this year, including the defending champion. And let's take a look at the new rules here on Battle Axe. All of the rings are worth 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. The bullseye is worth 6 points. And then those bullseyes on the outer ring, those are worth 6 points as well. Once you hit the center bullseye, you can't score on it until the second half of a match. If you want to get 6 for a bullseye, you have to go to the outside and try and get the 6 points there. And the kill shot is still worth 8 points. At any point during a match, a player can go for the kill shot. If they hit it, they get the 8 points, but if they miss it, they get nothing. Let's take a look at what everyone will be competing for this season, Bobby.
Absolutely, Joey. This is the prize that everyone is playing for. The winner of the Week 8 championship gets to take home this beauty. And with the way these new rules are set up, Joey, I think we're going to have a lot of players going for those outside bullseyes. But remember, those are in the 3 rings, so there's a lot of risk-reward. And I think it's going to be a very interesting league, and we'll see how it shapes up come tournament time.
A lot of seasoned veterans returning this year looking to win it all. Beth Jen, one of those veterans, here she is with more on her strategy for this upcoming season.
I have a new strategy this year. I kind of watched what Eric was doing last season and starting to go for those outsides earlier in the season so that by the time the tournament rolls around, he was more confident in those. Last season, I stayed in the middle, and then for the tournament, I started to go to the outside, but I wasn't super confident when I threw those. So what I'm trying to do this year is not worry about the points, not worry about where I'm going to seed into the tournament. I'm just going to keep practicing those outsides every single week, every single match, so that by tournament time, hopefully, I'll be really confident in those and be hopefully pretty accurate in those so that I can make a deep run in the tournament.
Beth Jen with a new aggressive strategy as she looks to put herself in position to make a run at the championship.
Yeah, I really like the new strategy, Joey, and I think we're going to see a lot of other competitors kind of adopt that as well, because those bullseyes now being filled in, there's a bigger bullseye and a higher chance of putting up an impressive score.
Well, our first matchup in this new season will be Michelle Frummelt taking on Beth Jen.
Yeah, so we've seen Michelle in leagues past with a bit of a wobbly axe at times, but over the course of the last league, she kind of figured that out and had a nice tournament, and Beth gets the season started off with what looks like a 5, Joey.
And a great flush bullseye from Michelle Frummelt. It's a bullseye for Beth Jen as well. What a start.
Well, that's even better. As you can see there, Beth kind of getting a closer look. She saw that it was ruled a 6 and elected to just take her points and go on to the next throw.
So we will see how aggressive Michelle Frummelt gets here. If she goes for the outside bullseye, she's going to play the middle. Beth Jen said she's going to get aggressive. Go for that outside bullseye. She comes up off the mark, but not a lot of damage done. Michelle Frummelt takes the lead, though, 10-9.
Yeah, and so that's the risk reward that a lot of players are going to have to deal with over the course of this season, Joey. So Beth being aggressive, going for that bullseye there and hit the 3 ring. And there you can see going for that upper left-hand side. She is off the mark, and Michelle with what looks like another 4. And as you can see there too, Joey, Eric the Scope, who is judging this match, is in a sling. He has hurt his elbow, and so he had surgery on it. So he is out week 1, Joey, and he will be throwing this entire season left-handed.
Well, the thing that we know about Eric the Scope is that he can do it with both arms and do it remarkably well.
Right.
He made a deep run with the left hand a few seasons ago, so don't count him out at all this season.
Yeah, it's definitely a bummer to Eric. You know, he has to throw with his left hand, but like you said, Joey, we've seen it happen in leagues past, and he's made a deep run. So he's looking to still take home that championship, and it looks like another bullseye there for Michelle, but it will be a 5 because she has already hit that.
Switch side.
So Michelle Frummelt will take a 4-point advantage into the second half as she switches sides with Beth Jen. We are set to go for the second half.
And so Michelle electing to play that middle of the board. Beth returning to the middle of the board there. Able to get a point there on Michelle. So 27-24 going into the 7th throw. But I still like the aggressive play there by Beth Jen. You know, she's going to learn as the season goes. It might be kind of a disappointing season for her as far as totals go, but I think the growth that she'll have over the season will really be beneficial come tournament time.
Yeah, and as she said in her interview, that's the focus. It's on growth. It's not about this current
Correct.
matchup with Michelle Fremmelt. She may be trailing, but that's of little concern. She's just looking to put herself in position to hit those hard shots when the postseason comes around.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things, Joey, we talk about with great competitors all the time is that they're not playing their opponent. They're playing the board. So Beth Jen really taking that next step. She doesn't care what her opponent's doing. She doesn't care what points they're putting up. She's focused solely on that board and those 5 bullseyes there on that and those 5 bullseyes there on that board.
So another bullseye for Michelle Fremmelt. She's been throwing well today.
She has been, and I have not seen a wobbly axe through the first 9 throws. I know I probably just jinxed her, but she's putting up a nice score as well, playing that middle of the board. Another semi-wobbly, but it's stuck in there. It's stuck in there.
All right.
Well, Michelle Fremmelt gets this new season started with a victory over Beth Jen, 47-37.
Beth trying her new approach here. As you can see, she got the night started off with a bullseye there, but then kind of got stuck in that 3-ring going for those outside bullseyes. Something I think we're going to see a lot of for the competitors that are going for those outside bullseyes. But I think over time, over the course of the league, they're going to get better and more accurate with those bullseyes. And then for Michelle, this is the other approach: stick in the middle of the board, try to get your bullseye, and then live in that 5-ring and try to put up as many points as you can. As you can see here, it was very successful for her. A nice score of 47 to get the season started. A couple bullseyes there, one on the first throw and another one there on the 9th. But some of those 5s, Joey, were also very close to being bullseyes if they still counted.
Yeah, a very encouraging start to the season for Michelle Fremmelt. Time now for our next matchup. It'll be Jill Kedley taking on Justin Smith.
Yeah, so Justin is a new competitor to the league here.
Let's roll.
Coming in, we'll see how he throws.
Throw number 1.
And Jill, we saw last season had a really good tournament. Made a really nice progress with her game.
4, 5.
But a couple 4s there to get this match started. Initially called a 5 there
Only
by
4.
Eric the Scope, but Jill
4,
is an honest player. She saw it was a 4.
Everyone wants to win honorably here on Battle Axe.
It'll be interesting to see what how Justin throws in his first matchup here on
4.
Battle Axe, but then we'll also see here if Jill is going to be sticking with the middle of the board or if she's going to be aggressive going for those outside bullseyes as well.
So we are all tied up at 8. Nothing but 4s so far from Smith and Kedley.
That looks like another 4 there for Jill. And ruled a 5 there by
4,
Eric. And as you
5.
can see there, yeah, that blade's popping through in the bottom part of that blade.
So Justin Smith out to an early lead here, 13-12 over Jill Kedley.
Well, first few throws, looks like he's pretty accurate there in the middle of the board. It looks like the axe is hitting pretty flush there for Justin.
Yeah, he's very
There you go.
methodical, takes his time,
3, 6.
and he's throwing well. That might be a 5 as well.
Look at that.
I think
Eric
that
the Scope is going to see if maybe it's a bullseye. It is a bullseye. So great throw from Justin Smith to extend his lead to 4.
yeah, he's moving in the
Alright,
right
and
direction. A
so you're
couple
aware
4s to get the
that
match
bullseye now,
started,
he
but
is
then a
moving
5 and a
left.
6. So
Okay. 5th throw.
doing a nice job of honing in his throw. And Jill just hasn't been able to find that 5-ring, and she held on the axe just a little too long there, Joey. That'll be a 2.
4, 2.
And that's a 4 there for Justin.
All right.
So able to capitalize on
So
Jill's 2 there.
23 to 17.
So
Switch
Justin
sides.
Smith will take a big lead into the second half. He's up 23-17.
make people at
Jill
home here.
Kedley with some work to do here in the second half. She's still looking for
Right.
her first bullseye.
17-23, lanes open.
Yeah,
Jill
in order
gets
to go for
ground
those
make up.
outside bullseyes, you got to hit that first one. So Jill looking to get back in the saddle here. Looks like that could be a 4, possibly a 3 if it's not popping through on the bottom side of that blade.
Go 3, 4.
But that's a 4 there for Justin.
Get some cross.
And the scope's going to get a closer look here.
3.
Ooh, just a tough ruling there for Jill with the axe not popping through on the bottom side of that blade for the 4.
So just 4 throws to go here. Justin Smith with a nice debut thus far here on Battle Axe. We'll see if he can put this one away.
Yeah, he's got a really nice release point, and that looks
4,
like another
6.
bullseye there. Pretty consistent release point as we saw with Jill with her 5th throw. Held on to that
And
axe just a
we're
little
at
bit
throw
too
number
long.
8.
It's such a crucial part of any thrower's game. And now we'll see here if Justin's going to be aggressive and going for one of those outside bullseyes, or is he's just going to play the middle of the board.
Looks like he's playing the middle of the board. His lead is big enough that he can
Get
get
a-
a little adventurous if he wants to here on the last couple of throws.
Yeah, and Jill, unfortunately,
Number
holding
9.
on to that axe just a little bit too long. That's an easy thing to
Yeah,
fix,
good
Joe. You
job,
can go back
Jill.
into the back rooms, practice a little bit, kind of focus on that release point. But as you can see, she's just trying to collect herself. But it's one of those things you can feel it. As soon as you let the axe go, you know that you held on to it a little bit too long. Then you try to overcorrect, let it go a little too soon. And that's when we get into the dangerous, what we dare not speak territory.
Kill shot
Another
called
5
on the
for
right.
Justin Smith, and Jill Kedley is going up for a kill
42-27.
shot here on the final throw.
That's something we saw from her in the last league, Joey. She's very aggressive going for that kill shot. I love the aggressive play. It's even though she's off the mark, that's going to come in handy come tournament time. And
5,
Justin with
missed.
another nice 5 there for another nice score of 47.
27.
A strong start for
Justin
Justin
takes
Smith
it.
here on Battle Axe. He was content to just play the middle of the board, and he did it well.
Yeah, we'll see how Justin progresses over the season, if he's going to get more comfortable going for those outside bullseyes or if he's just content to play that middle of the board. But as for a debut on Battle Axe, Joe, you can't ask for anything better. A couple bullseyes there. Nice score of 47. So he starts off 1-0. And then for Jill, she just had she held on to that axe just a little bit too long on that 5th throw for a 2, and then again on that 8th throw for a 3. But very aggressive going for the kill shot on her 9th and 10th throw. She was off the mark, but we know that's the way that she can get back into the game, and we know we have better scores from Jill coming in the future.
We are just getting started here on this new season of Battle Axe. Much more still to come straight ahead. An interview with our defending champion, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. Stay tuned for more Battle Axe here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Busted Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw is the defending champion once again, and he recently competed at Worlds. Here's the Magic Man on what that experience was like.
Since I was at Worlds last year, I've met all these people and thrown against some of them. This year was a difference only because I was seated a little bit higher than I was before, so I got to throw against a lot of new people. And one of the highlights of my career was being able to go against David Sykon, who is the reigning IATF world champ and a previous waddle champion, and be able to get past him was a huge high spot for my career. So kind of stoked about it.
Matt the Magic Man competing with the absolute best in the world.
Oh, he's obviously one of the best, not only in Battle Axe, but in best in the world, Joey. So happy to see that he had some success there at the World Championships, and we'll see how he fares against Michelle Fremmel here.
Yeah, Frummelt and Bradshaw going head-to-head here in week number 1. Frummelt with a strong start earlier against Beth Jen. We'll see if she can keep the momentum going against the Magic Man.
And a nice start there by Michelle. It looks like that's a 5. And a 5 there for Matt the Magic Man, popping through on the top part of that blade.
Anytime you can get through a round and be tied with the Magic Man,
Right.
you're in a good place.
You just want to keep that momentum going. And Michelle, I don't know if she was aiming for that bullseye, but I think might have clipped it there on the left-hand side.
6.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Exactly. It all looks the same on the scorecard, right?
Nice shot.
So 11 all between Frummelt and Bradshaw. And Frummelt still has that center bullseye in play. The Magic Man can no longer score the 6 points on it.
And we saw wobbly axes. That was not the case there for Michelle. It looks like the head of that axe hit the bullseye, but unfortunately we don't want that to hit. We want the blade to hit. So she has a devastating drop, but luckily for her, that wasn't a 6 there for Matt the Magic Man. That was only a 3, so she is still just down by 3
14-11. Matt, you're up by 3
with
points.
going into the 4th throw.
Yeah, Bradshaw electing to play aggressively. He went for the outside bullseye and just missed it.
4.
Does it once
3.
again. So Michelle Frummelt hanging around here. She's able to pick up a point now, making it 17 to 15.
You can see that throw there from Michelle was a dangerous throw as well. Lucky that blade hit into the board. But for Matt the Magic Man, he's being aggressive. He's going for those outside bullseyes. He's off the mark, and that's when you can see those 3 start to pop up, Joey.
3.
Yeah, Bradshaw last season was more content to just play the middle of the
Correct.
board throughout most of the season. perhaps this season he's going to take more of Beth Jen's
5,
philosophy
inside.
and get
23,
aggressive throughout the season.
18.
Well, I think everyone saw Eric's technique that he had going into the tournament, Joey, and he was able to play those other bullseyes, and he just had a level of comfort that the other players didn't have. So for Matt, if he wants to go and continue to compete in the Worlds, he's got to start to pop around to those other bullseyes because we know he's deadly in the center, and it's only a matter of time before he gets deadly on the edges. But for Michelle, though, that's a nice throw there. It looks like a 5, and it looks like that blade's hitting more flush into the board. And speaking of flush into the
5,
board,
3.
that looks like a bullseye there for Matt. He's going to get a closer look. It's very close. Oh, but looks like he's calling it a 3.
It's about as close as you can
Alrighty.
get.
3-5.
Just missed another bullseye. So Michelle Frummelt able to pick up a couple of points to make it a 5-point game.
Yeah, so Michelle still got that bullseye there on the right-hand side of the lane. And Matt being aggressive, going for those outside bullseyes. Michelle has a chance to come back in this thing. Ooh, but that's a dagger throw right there from the Magic Man.
Yeah, not if he's throwing like that. A flush bullseye from Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. We're going to get another look at this throw from Michelle Frummelt, and Eric the Scope says it's a 5.
Yep.
Back-to-back 5s for Frummelt.
And that's the kind of progress you want to see from
Throw
Michelle. So
number 9,
she had that
38,
devastating drop on the
32.
third
Matt,
throw.
you are up
She
by
kind of had a
Matt's calling kill shot.
she had a dangerous throw on the fourth throw. See there, she just held on to the axis a little bit too long. But we want that consistent progression, kind of like golf. You can have a great shot, then you can follow it up by duffing it 10 yards in front of you. It's all about stringing it together, and it looks like Matt the Magic Man
Miss.
went for the kill shot there and ruled a miss.
So Michelle Frummelt unable to take much advantage of that miss from Bradshaw. She
34.
just picks
Matt's
up a
going for
couple
kill
more
shot
points.
No, and Matt's calling for the kill shot
And
again. here.
Bradshaw going for another kill shot.
So Michelle looks like she's got a 4 if Matt misses this.
Love the aggressiveness
Ooh.
here from the Magic Man, and he
4.
sticks the kill shot to put an exclamation point on this one.
46-38.
Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw gets the win over Frummelt, 46-38.
Yeah, so 46, a score we're not used to seeing from Matt here, but this is what's going to happen when the players start to go for those outside bullseyes. You can see there he's had those 2 threes on his third and fourth throw going for those outside bullseyes, but still 4 bullseyes on the card. 1 kill shot hit, the other one missed, but a nice score, 46, and I think it's a dangerous thing for this league if Matt starts to get comfortable with those outside bullseyes. But for Michelle, she did rebound well after that drop on that third throw, but unfortunately for her, she held on the axis a little bit too long there on the 9th throw. She did have a chance to come back in this thing, but unfortunately for her, she wasn't able to consistently find that 5 and 6 ring, and we'll see how aggressive she gets over the rest of the season.
And a big kill shot from Bradshaw to get the win. Had he missed, we would have had sudden death. So now Bradshaw going to go right back out there and take on Beth Jen.
Yeah, so this is a rivalry of 2 titans in this league. Beth Jen, 0-1 on the season. Matt Bradshaw, as we just saw, got his first victory of the season. Beth gets it started there with a nice flush bullseye.
6.
And the answer from the Magic Man. A couple of bullseyes to start this one. And now I'd expect both of them to try and score the 6 on the outside bullseye.
Yeah, I think Beth is going to continue her strategy, and Matt's going to follow suit as well. But for Beth, this is really putting her mantra to the test here.
4-6.
About focusing up on that board, not worrying about what Matt the Magic Man's doing. And a couple bullseyes there for Matt, and we have a chance at something very special, Joey.
My lips are sealed. It's going to be a lot of fun this season to watch the progression of these remarkably talented throwers like Matt the Magic Man and Beth Jen as they look to take on this new challenge of going for those outside bullseyes.
Ooh.
And it's going to make for some really exciting matchups as well because it really shakes things up throughout the course of a match.
It really does. It levels the playing field for everybody. And what it does is, the great throwers are still great. It's just they have to kind of learn this new mechanics to hit those outside bullseyes. And Matt had a unicorn to get this started, and Beth with a nice bullseye there. So we know it's only a matter of time before they get it really dialed in. But
And
as we
we're at
saw,
third
with
five.
Michelle's first bullseye on her
Matt,
match
you are
versus
off
Matt, she was off the mark, but that bullseye was right there. So again, better to be lucky than good sometimes. It can really even up the match in a hurry.
3.
Looks like that's just off the mark there to the right, and Matt with another bullseye.
What a start for
Switch
Matt the
sides.
Magic Man. Bullseyes on 4 of his
Start
first
over.
5 throws. That's going to win you a
You are
lot of
at
matchups
22.
in this league.
Absolutely. I
Yup.
mean, we've already
Good,
probably
looking
seen
good.
Matt in these first 2
27 for
matches
Matt.
throw as many threes as we've seen in all 11 seasons of Battle Axe. But it's only a matter of time, as we know,
4,
before
6.
he starts dialing in that bullseye. But another bullseye there for Matt to get the turn started, and Beth with a 4. So down by 7 on the 7th throw.
Matt the Magic Man going for something that we dare not speak of once again.
Once again, but Beth with a nice bullseye there on that lower left-hand side.
6,
And Matt, of course, the great sportsman that he is.
6.
Couple bullseyes there and a high 5.
Another unicorn for
Wow.
the Magic Man. His second unicorn of the match.
left.
He's got a 7-point advantage over
Alright,
Beth
we're on throw
Jen.
number 8.
Well, I don't know if we had 2 unicorns at all last season, let alone 2 in one match here. So great performance here by Matt, the Magic Man Bradshaw, and Beth Jen is off the mark with a 3.
3, 6.
Another flush bullseye there by Matt, the Magic Man.
Well, you'd figure there'd be some growing pains as you
Yeah.
adjust to
call?
these new rules and
On the
play
left?
aggressively, but
Well, he had it. He threw a 46 in the last. I mean, that was enough growing pains for Matt, the Magic Man.
yeah, Bradshaw is a quick learner, and he is thriving right now against Beth Jen.
Yeah, so we'll see here. I believe he did call for the kill shot, and he
4, hit.
hits the kill shot. So really putting an exclamation point on this match here.
Matt the Magic Man putting on a master class right now,
shot
and he's
called on
looking
the
to cap it off with another kill shot. That would take him north of 60 for a round of 61.
We'll see. Beth doing a really nice job, though, focusing on the board. You can see she's not really paying attention to what Matt the Magic Man's doing. She's focusing up on her strategy. And
Hit.
Matt, you can see there, popping through on the
3.
left-hand side, another kill shot. So what a performance there by the Magic Man.
What a
61.
round from our
42.
defending champion, Matt the Magic
takes
Man
it.
Bradshaw. Nearly perfect. Only that 1-3. Other than that, this was perfection.
Absolutely. That 3 was very close to being a bullseye. So Matt really getting it honed in, really impressive score of 61. And this is the kind of dangerous competitor that we know can go to Worlds and really make a run. So congrats to him on figuring it out very quickly. And as you can see there for Beth, she falls to 0-2, but again, she's not going to care about this as the season goes on. She did have those 3 bullseyes there on her first, 4th, and 7th throw, so definitely things to build on, and we know that over time she's going to learn, just like Matt the Magic Man, how to hit those outside bullseyes with consistency.
Well, we are just getting started here on this new season of Battle Axe. We've got several more matches still to come here in week number 1. Stay tuned for more Battle Axe on NC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe. Here, as always, at the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. What an exciting start it's been to this new season, Bobby.
Absolutely. It's been a great start. We just saw Matt throw up a round of 61, hitting 2 kill shots and only 1 3 on his card. Other than that, it was all bullseyes. So he's getting into midseason form, and we'll see if the other competitors can keep up.
Next up, we've got Nancy Kramer taking on Jill Kedley.
Yeah, so Jill coming in at 0-1, falling to Justin Smith early in the night, and this is the first time we're seeing Nancy Kramer this season. Nancy's had some problems with drops in the past. We'll see if she can... Oh, there, I jinxed her already.
5.
A shaky start to the season for Nancy Kramer. Nice 5 there from Jill
forward.
Kedley.
Not
Well,
up.
we do say, Joey, if you're going to have a drop, you want to have it
Forward.
early on in the match. So fortunately for her, she did have that drop there on the first throw. So she's got some throws to make it up.
And with these new rules, there's
There it is.
a lot of different ways you
6-5.
can get back
There you
into
go.
a game.
That's an old classic way to get back in the game there.
You
So
can
nice
use it-
bullseye there
you
by
can use it
Nancy.
for a 5.
She pumps the fist. So Nancy Kramer can no longer score 6 on the center bullseye. We'll see how aggressive she gets here against Jill Kedley.
Well, we know Nancy feeds off the crowd, so getting the crowd going in there with that bullseye will
3,
definitely help
3.
her in her game. And again, you can see Jill holding on to that axe just a little bit too long.
2.
It's the same thing we saw in her match versus Justin, almost a carbon copy throw. So
To long
Nancy
line.
Kramer chipping away at that deficit. She's now within 3 after that drop to start things.
5.
And so Nancy slowly but surely making her way back into this game and then gains another point on her. So even after that drop, Joey, in that first throw,
That is
she's
number
only down by
4.
2 going
Jill, you're
into
up
the
by
5th
2
throw.
points. It is throw number 5.
But a better throw there from Jill. She's starting to correct it. We say it all the time. It's about that consistency of the throw. You want to find that consistent release point
4,
and
5.
be able to repeat it. That's what makes
Yep.
Matt the Magic Man
Nancy coming
Bradshaw such a
alive.
great thrower. We know it's
Throw
something Eric's
forward,
going to have
not
to
up.
work on
You
with his
got it.
left-handed
Throw
throw.
it forward. Switch side.
Well, we've got a good one brewing here. Nancy
busted
Kramer
on
now
it,
within
no?
a point. Jill
Oh,
Kedley leading
wide
20-19 after the first half.
Well, we always talk about it too, Joey, being the aggressor, keeping that pedal to the metal. And it's interesting to see how different
3-3.
throwers handle that. As you can see, Jill's kind of left the door open there for Nancy to come back in this thing.
What's that?
Let's see if she can start to pull
Yeah.
away.
She's not, she's not on camera, huh?
1 point game with 4 throws to go here.
Oh, that's a devastating drop there by
3.
Nancy. But
Yeah,
again,
she just threw that one a little too hard, held on a little too long,
right.
and Jill Kedley
It's professional friendly and
extends her lead to 4.
thorough. Alabi.
She is still only down by 4 with 3 throws to go. So
Look
if
at-
she can
look at
eliminate
it.
those drops and start to find that bullseye stroke that she had on her second throw, she can come away with the victory here.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, this one is far from over. But every throw is crucial, and
4.
Wow.
another devastating
Oh,
drop
throw
for
forward.
Nancy Kramer.
Forward.
That should just
We
about
won
put
with
this
the
one
X.
away for Jill Kedley.
Yeah, just 2 devastating
We
drops
won
in a
with
row.
the
She
X.
had the chance
Go
to come
for it.
back in this thing. Down by 8, with the inaccuracy of her throw, I don't think going for a kill shot is going to be in the cards here, but, we like to be aggressive.
4. Or sorry,
But
4,
initially rolled a
3.
4 there, and it looks like that's a 3 there for Nancy Kramer.
4-2.
I'm sorry, it's a 2, actually.
Either that or she's giving us the
It
peace
doesn't
sign.
go over that black line, right? That's okay.
Yeah, so ruled a 2
You
there
are
for Nancy
on.
Kramer,
Throw
down
number
by 10 going into the 10th throw.
24.
For Nancy, I just want to see her put the blade into the board flush.
for
A
the
nice throw to end it, just like
kill
on the
shot.
golf course, Joey.
Not this
You always want that one throw or that one swing to get you to go back.
4.
Yeah, or like if you're out
28,
shooting hoops in the
38,
driveway, you want to
Jill
make your
takes it.
last shot.
Yeah, exactly. You
Nice
want to
shoot.
always end on a positive
Ah,
note, and she does
go
there with a 4
forward.
there.
So
Straight
Jill
ahead.
Kedley gets her first victory of the season, 38-28 over Nancy Kramer.
Yeah, so Jill started off this match with a couple 5s. I really liked those throws. And then we saw again on that third throw, she held onto that axis a little bit too long. Hopefully it's something that won't persist with her throughout the season. She did do a good job of capitalizing on Nancy's drops. She was able to pull away and come away with the victory here. But we know 38 is not really Jill's game. So she's more in the mid-40s because we saw her make a great run in the tournament last season. So for her, it's just kind of figuring out that release point. And then for Nancy, it's just the consistency of the throws. We saw there she did a nice job of coming back in this match. Before the turn, she had made this thing a game even after the drop on her first throw. So all about consistency. That's the name of the game. We'll see if she can figure it out the rest of the season.
Next up, we've got Beth Jen taking on Gina Feenstra.
So Gina Feenstra is coming back to the league. Of course, Gina and her husband
All right,
Brandon have
lane's
been
open, let's go.
longtime Battle Axe competitors. But Gina is returning to the league. Unfortunately, Brandon
5,
is
6.
still out of the league, but hopefully will be back soon.
Great start for Gina Feenstra, a bullseye to give her an early lead over Beth Jen.
Go.
And so Beth just focusing up on the middle of the board right now before she starts moving off to the outside bullseyes, or
4.
maybe
4.
she's starting the outside bullseyes sooner than we think.
Couple of 4s there from Jen and Feenstra to keep it a 1-point game.
It's something I've often thought about. If you're throwing Joey at the board, maybe your axe is just kind of drifting a little bit more towards those outside bullseyes. There's nothing really against going for those outside bullseyes first. You can focus. You can try to find the middle of the board later on. But if your axe is naturally
No,
going towards them,
are you going-
maybe take
going for
advantage of it.
dots?
Yeah, there's no set order in which you have to do them, so we'll see if Beth Jen is trying to get that outside one first and then move inward.
Obviously, it's a very dangerous gamble, as you can see there with Beth. If you're off the mark, you're hitting 3s and 4s, so you definitely want to get that first bullseye under your belt. But she is only down by 1 going into the 5th throw. Gina with a 2 there. But Gina consistently playing the middle of the board. For her, it's all about that blade hitting that wood flush.
Two,
Just holding on,
three.
just like with Joe Kedley, holding on to that axe just a little bit too
Go.
long. Back-to-back twos
Tied
there,
at
ties this
18.
thing up.
Switch sides.
18 all between Beth Jen and Gina Feenstra heading into the second half.
It's bold practicing on the first week, but
Yeah, so you can
I
hear
think
there
it's a
Eric saying it's
strategy.
bold
Just
practicing
long,
on the first week, but
just kinda get it
Beth
all
does
out of the
not
way,
care.
right?
She's going to keep
4,
focusing up
4.
on her strategy. So
Yeah, Beth Jen isn't going to let anyone get in her head or let any moment get to her.
Yeah, you don't wanna
She's a
waste
seasoned veteran, and
Yeah.
she's focused on just doing what she came out here to do, and that's hone in on getting those outward bullseyes.
when I wonder too for Gina, she's taken a couple seasons off, so this is her first time throwing competitively for a while. So we'll see if a little more consistency comes with Gina over the course of the season. But Beth very close
Throw
to a
number 8.
bullseye there on the 7th throw. Fortunately for
Tied
her,
at
Gina
25.
threw a 3 as well, so we are still tied 25-25. And Beth sought the mark. Versus her
3,
match
4.
with Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, she is definitely a little more erratic with her throws here. Wonder if fatigue is
All
kind of
right,
setting
number
in,
9, and Gina's
it
up
being
by
week 1 and all.
So Gina Feenstra with a 1-point lead and 2 throws to go. We'll see in this close matchup if Beth Jen changes the strategy at all.
6,
Doesn't look like she's going to.
3.
Doesn't look like she's going to, and it was ruled a 6 there for Beth Jen, so huge risk reward right there. So Beth
right,
able to
last
take a
throw.
2-point lead going into the 10th
Gina,
throw.
You are down by 2 now. 30.
Now, Gina Feenstra can still score 6
She
on that
can.
center bullseye.
Yep.
That could be huge.
Now this is a situation where I'd like Gina to take a breath, take a beat, and wait for Beth to throw. Unfortunately for Gina, she was off the mark, but make your opponent make the mistake. Don't let them
And 3.
ease up a little bit.
Well, Beth Jen
That's gonna
wins a
be
nail
Beth,
biter,
37
37 to
Gina
36. Her first victory of the season.
Nice
Yeah, so
shoot.
Beth Jen came into this thing 0-2, but she comes out 1-2 with a score of 37. And this is just the tail of the tape, Joey. I mean, she was going for those outside bullseyes. She was pretty significantly off the mark. So for her, those number of threes there, where we have 6 total threes on the scorecard, it's not something that she wants to carry in to the tournament, but it's definitely going to be parts of the growing pains and the process to becoming that elite thrower. She did have that nice bullseye there on that 9th throw to really put the separation between Gina. And then for Gina, I like that she took a breath on that 10th throw, let Beth throw what ended up being a 3. If Gina would have hit a bullseye, she would have come away with the victory. If she would have hit a 5, they would have gone into sudden death. But just consistency in the game. She had 2 back-to-back 2s on her 4th and 5th throw, something that she's got to eliminate from her game.
Still a couple more matches to go here in week number 1 of this new season of Battle Axe. Stay tuned. We'll bring it to you straight ahead here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe, coming to you from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford. It's been a very exciting start to this brand new season, and we've still got a couple matchups to go with some veterans that we haven't seen yet here in week number 1, including Leroy the Lumberjack Kedley. Like many of his competitors, he's got a new strategy this season. Here's Leroy on his strategy moving forward.
I think I want to go outside the bubble. I'm going to try to go for some more kill shots, the outer bullseyes. Yeah, I kind of think that's what I want to do. I think after just practicing, and I think I got like the inside dialed in to where I'm constantly hitting, the 6s, the 5s, and I mean 4s are kind of in there too, but a little more 5s. I think I got it kind of dialed in a little more. So, yeah, I'd like to venture outside the bubble, and I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Leroy Kedley looking to elevate his game to the next level.
I like how he put it, outside the bubble, Joey. I think that's a good term and something we should adopt here.
So it'll be Leroy the Lumberjack Kedley taking on Beth Jen.
Yeah, so Leroy getting really comfortable with that middle of the board there, and we saw that in the tournament past. He made a nice, surprising run there in his first season in Battle Axe. Beth getting this started with a 5, and Ooh,
4.
looked like a 5 there for Leroy. Initially ruled a 4. And I think they both see it that it's a 5.
Okay.
So Eric makes the change. Yeah, there you can see from the side cam.
If you're telling,
They got a 5 there.
I assume you called mine the 5?
Yeah, 5, 5, 5.
Yeah, it's week 1 for everybody.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go before we get into postseason form, and that includes the officials
You guys just have to call
and the
me out. I don't
announcers.
mind.
Exactly. Well, you know, we don't get a preseason here, Joey. We've got to go right into week 1. So
We're fine.
Beth looks like she's
3, 4.
close to that bullseye there on the lower left-hand side, but it ruled a 3 and Leroy with a 4.
So Beth Jen still trying to attack the outside. We'll see if she can figure some things out here this matchup.
Yeah, and she's doing the same
3,
technique that
5.
she had in her last matchup where she's starting to go for those outside bullseyes first. And then Leroy looks like he's just peppering the middle of that board. Ruled a 5, but it looks like that's a 4 there, according to Leroy and Beth.
Shit, okay, yeah. A lot of roll on that one.
There was a lot of roll on that one. So Leroy with a 4, so only a 2-point lead going into the 4th throw.
Jen and
There we
Kedley
go.
still
Throwing
looking
them.
for their first bullseye here of this match.
Looks like we might have it there for Leroy popping through on the left-hand or the right-hand side. So Leroy hit his bullseye on the 4th throw. Let's see if he ventures outside the bubble to go for one of
Throw
those
number
outside
5.
bullseyes.
4, 3.
Off the mark there, but you can see there, Joey,
23,
Leroy did go for that
18.
middle
Switch
bullseye.
sides.
So
Leroy, you got it by 5 right now.
he says he wants to be adventurous, but it's another thing to put it in action during a game, right?
Talk is cheap.
Talk is cheap, exactly.
We'll see if Kedley will walk the walk here in the second half as he looks to put a victory away against Beth Jen.
Nice bullseye there by Leroy. And a 5 there for Beth Jen. So she is down by 6 with 4 throws to go.
And if Kedley is focused on the record as well, the wins and losses,
Right.
he's in position here up by 6 where he can get a little adventurous. So I'd love to see him go outside.
Well, he's proven that he's
5,
pretty
3.
consistent with those 5 and 6 rings. So last 2 throws have been really nice. Beth off the mark again. 26-34 going into the 8th throw.
Beth Jen needs to get hot in a hurry. She's certainly capable of it.
But not when
5,
Leroy's throwing
6.
like that, but Beth with a nice answer. So she is able to get a point with
Throw
2
number
throws to
9,
go, down by 7.
39-32.
Kill shot still in play, but
Very much.
Beth Jen going to play the board here.
Do think she needs to get at least 2 points here on him.
5, 2.
And unfortunately for her, she is off the mark. And then Leroy with a nice 5 there.
Throw
Again,
number
keeping that
10,
pedal to the metal.
44, 34.
Keep piling on the points. Up 34-44. Looks like a 4 there for Leroy.
5,
And
3.
Beth off the mark. Unfortunately for her, that blade wasn't popping through in the
49.
bottom part.
37.
No, I guess it
that
was initially
back.
ruled a 5, but Leroy doesn't matter.
Go
He's
ahead.
going to get a look here. Says it's a 4. But it's all for naught, Joey.
Ooh, under
Leroy, the lumberjack, getting his season started with a win over Beth Jen.
48.
48-37, the final.
Yeah, so we've definitely seen that throughout week 1. Beth Jen has taken her strategy, and she said she doesn't care about the record. She said she's not going to care about the points. She's going to focus on the strategy. She's done that. Unfortunately for her, it has not worked out terribly well here in week 1, but that is the case. That's going to happen. There's going to be growing pains. We saw Matt with just an atrocious 46 versus his match with Michelle. So he figured it out and had a nice rebound with 61. I'm sure it's just a matter of time for Beth. And then for Leroy, like he was talking about in his interview, he is very consistent in that 4, 5, and 6 ring, and that's why he was able to make such a run in the Week 8 tournament. He can be very dangerous with that strategy. I'd like to see him start venturing out, maybe going for some kill shots, and as he said, go outside the bubble a little bit more.
Well, one matchup still to come here in our first week of this brand new season. It'll be Ann Welp taking on Jill Kedley.
We've
Thanks,
seen a couple
Oak.
matches
Let's
from
go.
Jill already tonight, and this is our first time seeing Ann Welp. So Jill coming in at 1-1. A little bit of problems holding on to the axe just a little bit too long for a couple throws.
4, 5.
We'll see if she can have some consistent release point here throughout the match.
A nice throw to start this matchup for Jill Kedley. Didn't miss that bullseye by much.
Yeah, nice 5 there to get the match started. So we'll see if maybe she just needed a couple matches to get the
5-4.
release point down.
Another 5 for Kedley as she extends her lead to 10-8 over Ann Welp.
So being the aggressor for Ann, just focusing up on that board. We've seen Ann kind of have her axe going in an angle at times.
5-2.
And there you see again, Jill on her 3rd throw. Held on to that axe just a little bit too long
Can you hear Leroy
for
over
another
there?
2.
Yeah.
The roller coaster ride continues for Jill Kedley, and Welp takes advantage, throwing her first 5 of the match.
Yeah, it's just so odd that it's happened on the 3rd throw of every one of her matches, Joey.
4-4.
It's a good rebound there by both competitors. So, but for Ann, she's had her axe kind of going in at an angle, and we've seen that's kind of caused drops for her a little bit. So the straighter that axe can go on the board, the more likely it's going to stick there.
4-5.
There's a nice throw. It looks like a 5 there for Jill Kedley.
Well, how about that? We are all tied up
Yep,
at
switch
21
sides.
after the first
Tied at
half
21.
between Jill Kedley
Looking
and
good,
Ann Welp.
looking good.
Yep, and for Jill, she's had consistent release points outside of that 3. She did a nice job of rebounding. We can have one, but we don't want to have back-to-back or multiple.
4-4.
Another good couple of release points there by both competitors. 25-25. No bullseyes yet, but I think there's one around the corner.
It's going to come down to these final 4 throws
Trying to say
between
that a two-arm person
Welp
can do better
and
than one?
Kedley.
So what are you trying to say?
Look, that was a nice release point there by Ann. Really followed through, pointed towards the board.
6-4.
Nice 5 there by Jill Kedley. Able to take a 1-point lead,
All
30-29.
Honesty on that one. 5 points.
But those are the kind of slight adjustments that Ann just needs to
you
make.
give them-
You know, you
give
just
them
kind of
lead.
scoot over to the left a little bit, do that
All right,
same
all right, that's
release
okay.
point, and that thing's a 5
We're
or a
on-
bullseye.
We are on throw number 8, and Jill, you are up by 1 point. 4-4.
A little overcorrection there for Ann and a 4 there for Jill Kedley. So nail
right,
biter
number
with 2
9.
throws to go, Joey.
Yeah, what
Still
an
up by
exciting
1.
way to wrap up this first week
33
of
and
this brand
34,
new
Jill.
season. We've got a thriller here between Welp and Kedley.
Well, we saw the matchup with Jill and Nancy. Jill really had a hard
5-4.
time of keeping her pedal to the metal, you know,
There we
creating
go,
that separation
38.
when she got the
Into
lead.
throw number
And as you can see
10.
there, Joey, on that 9th throw, she left the door open
Getting
for Ann to
warmer,
come back and
getting
tie this
warmer.
thing up.
Tied ball
So
game.
38-38, 1 throw to go. We'll see maybe we have our first sudden death of the season here, Joey. Looks like
4-4.
there
4 from
There we
Welp
go.
Ooh,
and a
Are we
4
not
from
doing
Kedley. We
Wow.
are going to sudden death.
that was really close to popping through in the bottom part of that axe there for Jill
All right,
Kedley.
cool. So
Unfortunately for
you
her, that is a
long life
4.
and good health.
But fortunately for her, they
got-
have to go for kill shots. Jill is very aggressive going for the kill shot. We'll see how it plays out here. So each competitor has to go for a kill shot. The one who hits it or closest to
nice
comes out
throw.
the victor. Looks like Ann is off the mark.
Oh, and Jill's going to take it just a
Let's see
little
what
bit
Jill does.
closer. Looking
There we
good,
go.
She
42
almost
apiece.
hit it, and she
Good
gets the
scores
win
right there.
in
I think-
sudden death.
I think you only missed her
over
by
Ann
about
Welp.
maybe.
Yeah, so Jill very close to hitting that kill shot, and she comes out the victor. But I think this is one of those things, Joey. You know, we've kind of had a theme here this week 1 of getting used to high pressure throws. So come tournament time, you're comfortable with them. This is something that Jill did late last season and throughout the tournament. She was going for those kill shots. When she was down by a significant margin, she'd start to go for that kill shot. She becomes more comfortable with it. Turns out week 1, it pays off here when she goes to sudden death with Ann Welp. She almost hit that kill shot, comes out the victor. She improves her record to 2-1. She did have that 2 on her 3rd throw. She overheld the axe a little bit, but overall, pretty consistent round. No bullseyes for either competitor, but for them, it's just finding that release point, finding that consistent throw, and those 5s and 6s will be right around the corner.
Well, it is time for our post-game wrap-up after this first week of Battle Axe. Let's take a look at the standings. Leading the way atop the leaderboard after week number 1, surprise, surprise, it's Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, the defending champion, out to a 4-0 start, averaging just over 50 points per game. He's getting more aggressive this season, and his average score is certainly reflective of that.
Absolutely. We saw in his second matchup, he put up a nice round of 61, so 202 points scored in week 1. But following Matt Bradshaw is Leroy Kedley, Michelle Fremmel, Justin Smith, Ann Welp, Beth Jen, Gina Feenstra, Jill Kedley, Nancy Kramer, and Eric Shizzle.
That will do it for this first week of Battle Axe. Thanks so much for watching. For Bobby the Blade Bradford and the entire MC22 crew, this is Joey Danya signing off. We'll see you next time here on Battle Axe.